And our next story is about India and China. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, met his Chinese counterpart on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro. On November 19, taking to the platform X, Dr. S. Jaishankar said that both sides noted progress in the recent disengagement in the border areas. What's more, both the leaders also exchanged views on what should be the next steps in the India-China bilateral ties. Let's just get you some context here. Following a series of negotiations to resolve the border row, on October 21, both sides had reached an agreement. And the Indian and Chinese militaries completed the disengagement exercise then in Demchok and Depsang in eastern Ladakh. In fact, experts see the border agreement as an important diplomatic breakthrough when it comes to the relationship between the two sides. Remember, back in 2020, tensions between India and China skyrocketed following the Galwan Valley clash. And coming back to the talks that took place between Dr. S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart, both sides have been reported as saying that deployment of troops along the LAC is being maintained. Each side currently has around 50,000 to 60,000 troops along the LAC. The talks also emphasized on how the focus must now shift to de-escalation of the overall situation to restore peace and normalcy. Both the foreign ministers also discussed the resumption of direct flights between India and China, as well as restarting the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra pilgrimage. That's not all. The talks also entailed a data sharing on trans-border rivers, as well as media exchanges to be part of the bilateral dialogue. Remember, during the meeting held between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping in the Russian city of Kazan, Prime Minister Modi stressed on how trust is the foundation for the relations between two countries, and the latest talks between Dr. S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart seem to reflect a similar stance. In fact, Dr. S. Jaishankar noted that India and China have both differences and convergences. He said that India has been constructively working towards cooperation summit after summit, be it BRICS, SCO, and now the G20. He also talked about India's commitment to a multipolar world and thus a multipolar Asia. He emphasized on a foreign policy which is independent of external influences. Meanwhile, Wang Yi noted that India-China relations have a particular salience in world politics and that a forward-looking approach is being harbored by both sides. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.